Welcome back to another show. Today, we're going to discuss nothing important. Alright, so I decided to do this new segment called In the News. This is where I talk about really crappy news that I see every day in my newsfeed. 2 Arkansas men have been arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault. They were wearing a bulletproof vest, taking turns and shooting each other. 2 men are neighbors and were drinking on a deck Sunday when Ferris told Hicks, that's the names, Ferris and Hicks, he told him to shoot him with a .22 caliber rifle while Ferris wore the vest. The affidavit says the shot left a red mark on Ferris' chest and that he was angry because it hurt. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Newlywed downed 4 beers before flight, went on a homophobic rant, and attacked the flight attendants on his way to his honeymoon. Wait a minute. This guy was drunk after drinking 4 beers? Alright, strip his man badge. Get him out of here. I wonder what color panties he was wearing. Real nice move, Nancy. Women harass a 70-year-old man for wearing a Maga hat at Starbucks. No, but this Maga hat thing, it needs to stop. This is just stupid. I'll get into this in another video. It's a lot, and I don't even know why I brought this one up. Scratch that whole thing. Teacher apologizes for offensive Easter invite. Apparently she sent out a memo referring to the kids, their dress code for the day, and she said, "We do not want any dark bunnies." She wanted everybody to wear bright colors. She said dark bunnies. It wasn't a racist comment. This whole racist comment thing is getting out of control. She also added in this, please use very light white, tan, or light gray only clothes for the bunny. Look, this has... I don't know how people even get offended here. She even described what she was talking about. Just because she said we don't want any dark bunnies, she was being cute. She was being cute. Alright, on to the next one. I don't even want to talk about it. Teen whose teacher allowed to bring a fake gun to school arrested for terrorism. Okay, so apparently this was a school project in his forensic science class, and he asked if he could bring in a gun. He got permission to bring in a paint gun. This isn't a real gun, it's a paint gun. He got permission from the teacher. Somehow he ends up in the office, and they say it's a terrorist move, and this kid is in trouble. He went to jail. And here's his quote. Anyway, here's a quote of what happened. They had me write a statement explaining that what the gun was for. They wouldn't let me talk too much or call my mom. They took my phone too. So basically they made him write some bullshit to get him in trouble. They framed him. Bees discovered living in woman's eye, still intact, alive. Apparently this lady was outside. She thought some dust got in her eye. She went to the doctor, and the doctor pulled out like 3 bees. Apparently there's like tear bees now. Not the annoying honeybees. Not the annoying carpenter bees. Now we have these like bees that feed off your tears. I think bees are getting a little evil on us, to be honest. And my last news article isn't really a news article. Derek Stevens got up got to Fremont Street at 4:30 a.m. for the concrete pouring at his new casino and hotel, Circa. That's some real dedication, man. And we're talking about a guy who really loves his job. He loves downtown Vegas. I love downtown Vegas. I love everything he's done. It's him and his brother, the Stevens brothers. But Derek's the one that's always in the spotlight. He's the one you could always see at the D hanging out. You could see him at the Golden Gate sometimes. I see him all the time when I go there. He seems like a really nice guy, and he really cares about what's happening in downtown Las Vegas, unlike the jamokes over on the Strip. So Fremont Street in downtown Vegas has been through so many changes in the last 20 years. Right now it's going through the biggest change since they built the Dome, the Circa Las Vegas. This all starts with Derek Stevens, who I was just talking about, and if you don't know who he was, he bought the Golden Gate and turned it into a tiny 24-hour party, and then he took over Fitzgerald's and turned it into the D. Both casinos are very loud music, girls dancing on the tables, very party-like atmosphere that brings in the young crowd. There's one special thing that Derek does with all of these changes. He has respect for the history and seems to keep the feeling of downtown always had. Cheap rooms and cheap gambling. I think he's the only Vegas mogul that understands what made Las Vegas famous in the first place. And overall, like I said, I have faith in his decisions and I trust that he will always keep that alive. But the new development of Circa has me a little worried. Let's go back to the 90s. This was a time when Vegas was going through the biggest changes of history. The mob had been gone for a decade. Huge developments were in the works. Paris, New York, the Venetian, Bellagio. People were moving in and billionaire money was flowing. It was like a game on who could build the biggest, most luxurious hotel. Downtown was scary. They decided to build Fremont Experience to keep the trash out. It sort of worked at first and then gradually became safer as you stay within the Dome. And just a quick tip for downtown Las Vegas, if you're ever walking outside of Fremont Street, don't pass 9th Street. That's when all the horrors start, especially at night. But back then, it was shady to walk across the street to the El Cortez, definitely too shady for a walk to the Gold Spike, at night, and even during the day. I'm talking crack alley, dirty one-tooth hooker scary. Downtown had $1 table limits and even a 50-cent craps table in front of the Horseshoe, now known as Binion's. I remember playing craps at that table at like 4 or 5 in the morning. It was all the old timers. It was a lot of fun. They would bust my balls. They would really bust my balls, but because I was the only young guy there. But I always had a good time, and I was cool with it. It was alright. Now today I never expected the dollar minimums to stick around forever, but it's nice to see $5 and $10 minimums downtown when the Strip is starting at $15 and $25. Now I'm a cheapo when it comes to gambling. I understand that I never have an edge, but I do have fun at the tables. Because of that, I only like to play $5 tables. But I will make an exception for a $10 craps table. I just make strategy changes so I'm not risking too much. Let me get to the point. Derek revealed the plans for the Circa Hotel a few months ago. Named Circa to preserve the history of Vegas, and that's a good thing. My concern is it looks really nice, and it's the first major development in downtown since the 80s, I believe. Now, just this year I took a quick trip there for a couple days, right after the Super Bowl, and I noticed the table limits were at $15, and that's at the D. I know this was a Super Bowl crowd, but I think it was also a test to see how much they could make if they dropped to $5 altogether, start at $10. Is that what's going to happen once Circa opens up? I fear that Circa will not be in line with other casinos on Fremont, raising downtown limits to $10 and $15, ending the $5 limit days. What do you think? Now, I'm not saying that the Stevens brothers are getting greedy. My point is they need to make money. And I don't think the $5 limits and cheap rooms are going to pay the bills for that new casino they're building. And they have a very big sports book that they're going to be putting in there. But sports books don't really make that much money. Really hope Circa has a poker room because the Golden Nugget is the only one worth going to now. Binion's was my favorite poker room, but they somehow failed to bring in the players and ended up turning this historic poker room into a slot machine room and moved the poker tables onto the floor. So let's discuss this. I want you to comment below and tell me what you think. What do you think about Circa? Is it going to change Fremont Street, or will it just be a nice addition to the downtown area? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you had a good week, and I'll see you next time.